Jocelyn Flores is arguably one of Xxxtentacion's biggest songs. It debuted on the Billboard Hot 100s at 31 and would eventually peak at number 19 following his passing. The song today will go on to be 5 times platinum, and it racked up 1.7 billion streams on Spotify, with it also having over 600 million views on YouTube just off the audio alone. And when I say when the song first came out it changed people's opinions about X, I mean it changed it in a good way. And the song connected with a lot of people emotionally, with them giving their perspective on how they dealt with mental health.
How do you feel about this song?
It really moved me.
Yeah, it's heavy, right?
Yeah.
But X had a deep side, and I felt like this was one of the first songs that he really captured one of these feelings that you're feeling right now, right?
He really moved me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what made the song Jocelyn Flores so unique that it was based on a true story, and in fact the song title was an actual name, Jocelyn Aparu Flores. Born in 2000 to a religious family in the Bronx, Jocelyn had a traumatic upbringing that would involve the passing of her father and her being sexually assaulted by a family member at a young age. Due to those traumatic experiences, she would suffer from severe depression, and she would often self-harm herself and try to commit suicide at the age of 12. As her depression got worse, she would begin to receive therapy, where for a little moment it would help, but only for a short term. And 2017 would be the first time that her and X would get into contact after he found pictures of her and thought she was pretty and wanted her to model for his clothing brand Bad Vibes. Jocelyn and X would eventually meet up for the first time in Florida and would check into the Hampton Inn with his entourage. But things would take a left turn later that day, cause she wasn't the only girl that X invited there, which would end up causing tension between the two, and they would end up getting into an argument while X was out attending his cousin's prom. Later that night, when X went back to his hotel that they was at, over $7,000 came up missing, and X was frustrated by this, and he would end up telling the girl and Jocelyn that they had to leave, and he didn't want them to do the photo shoot anymore, which really hurted Jocelyn to the core. So they would both pack up that night going to another hotel with 2 of X's security guards to look after them, just to make sure that everything was cool before they got flown back. But things would take a turn for the worse. Unaware of Jocelyn's battle with depression, the security guards that was supposed to keep a company of her fell asleep, while Jocelyn, she would go to the bathroom and lock the door and be in there for hours. The next day when security woke up, they still noticed that the bathroom light was on and the door was still locked, where they would be forced to call the hotel inspection after trying to get in, where they would tragically see the sight of the 16-year-old's deceased body due to her taking her own life. In the following days, X would dedicate a song to her called Garrett's Revenge, where he writes in the description on his SoundCloud, "Rest in peace, Jocelyn. I will have my revenge upon the world." And then he would go on Instagram Live explaining this situation, and as you can tell, he feels a little bit of guilt and remorse due to him feeling like what he told her led up to her death, and he explains how unaware he was of her mental illness, and he never noticed not 1 ounce of her having depression.
There was this girl that had basically flew down here. Well, I flew down here to model pretty much, and great girl, beautiful girl, wonderful personality, showed no signs of depression whatsoever. She, in a way unexplained, she killed herself when she came down here, and I mean, it was a devastating situation to deal with. I just want to really say, I understand where she, I'm at a loss of words for the situation, in all honesty. I just really want to, it's hard to kind of even remotely have words for the situation.
A few months later, X would drop his debut album 17, where he would infamously have the second track called Jocelyn Flores, which was a song obviously dedicated to her, where he expresses how much remorse he has and recollects the very moment about him hearing about her passing away. Now, even though the song was a massive success, some people in Jocelyn's family ain't really too fond of this track, and they feel like he used their name without asking them for their permission. He didn't even give us the courtesy of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do this, I hope you guys are okay with it." Nope, no courtesy there. Using Jocelyn's death for publicity. Jocelyn's uncle said when he first heard the song he couldn't believe it. He heard his niece's name on the stereo one day while he was driving home and he was shocked. "I couldn't believe it," her uncle said. "I saw the thing, it said Jocelyn Flores on the thing. I was like, what the hell?" And they were also going to say that Jocelyn's stepfather tried to arrange a meeting with X's publicist, but things would never fall through and they would never hear from him due to his tragic passing. "We just wanted to know what her last day was like. That torments me. I just want to know the last day. Please, tell me anything. What did she do that day? What did she eat? When was the last time you saw her? Did you take her to Universal Studios like you promised her? What is it that you did with her? What was her last day like? That's all all I ask. Now on the other hand, X's sister will have the opposite reaction to this, as she says that X did reach out to her and she appreciated the song that he made honoring Jocelyn.
Eventually, when she went to Florida because of Xxxtentacion. She wanted to do a video shoot and a photo shoot with him, but it didn't go as planned as she wanted it. He did call me. In fact, he did FaceTime me. I was confused on who the number was, but I ended up answering anyways. I answered it. It was him. He was telling me how he was sorry for my loss, about how he would have flew out here if he knew when the funeral was. He made that song called Jocelyn Flores. I listen to that every day before I go to bed. These past couple days that I've been staying at my aunt's house, I haven't been listening to it because I've been so happy, you know. But when I'm alone at home, sleeping, I'll put that song on and I'll start listening to it before I go to bed and just start crying and just start, you know, praying to her.
Even though a lot of people in Jocelyn's family was upset at X for not asking for their permission, they still recognized the fact that the songs connected to millions of people in a positive way. And Jocelyn Flores, the name has forever been memorialized, to a point they even comment under her Instagram account as a hub for people struggling with mental health, which also made her aunt happy to see too. I know that Jocelyn would have loved it. She would have loved that she was remembered, that she was helping people. This was her dream. This is what she wanted.